Welcome to Log Furniture How To, the most all-inclusive site on the net for log and rustic furniture, fixtures, and decor. That's logfurniturehow2.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the San Juan Carpentry YouTube channel. My name is Scott Schaefer, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a puzzle cut shelf. Now I do have another video that kind of does like a quick overview of me building a puzzle cut shelf, but this video is going to show you a little bit more detail, step-by-step instructions. It's more of a tutorial to show you how to make this this really cool type of shelf. You can also use it for the side of dressers and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Obviously, the first step is to measure for the length of the shelf boards. Make sure your measurement is long enough to cover any knots or other curves in each log. I'm going to cut my boards 23 inches. The puzzle cut shelf really relies on shapely boards to create its awesomeness, so find boards that have as much shapely action as possible. If they aren't already planed, send them through enough times to get them down to about 3/4 of an inch. You don't want them too thin because they do contribute to the structure of the table. Now I'm going to sort through them and decide which boards to match up. I'm building 2 tables, so I need 3 boards for each shelf. I want to put the shapely boards on the outside and the plain board on the inside. You'll see why as we progress. Once you have your outside boards chosen, use a contour tool to trace the shape of the leg into the board. Line the contour tool up parallel to the board and trace the back side of it. Push it straight into the leg. The further you push into the leg, the deeper your cutout is going to be. When you have it on as far as you want, pull it straight back and realign it with the line you drew. Carefully trace the contour onto the board. Repeat this on the second leg, and be careful to not move the board during the entire process. Repeat all of this on the other outside board. Using the bandsaw, I'm going to cut along each line on each board. Take your time with this so your fit is as perfect as possible. Once you have the grooves cut out, fit the board in its place on the table. If it isn't a perfect fit, mark where you need to trim and take it back to the bandsaw. Do this as many times as necessary to get a fit that you're happy with. Next, I'm going to cut the inside edge of each outside board. This is the natural edge I'll be using as a pattern when I cut the center board. Simply follow along with the natural shape of the board, only trimming off the beveled portion. Choose one outside board and trace the natural edge onto the center board. Take the center board to the saw and, taking your time, cut along the line. It's going to be much harder to make corrections with this cut, so be sure to go as slow as you need to in order to stay on the line. Place the outside board that you used as a pattern and the center board in place on the table. Then put the other outside board in place, overlapping the center board. Trace its natural edge onto the center board, and again, take it to the saw and carefully cut along the line. Now that all 3 pieces fit together like a puzzle, put them in place and trace the outside edge of the support logs underneath the overhang of the boards. Do this at both ends. Take all 3 boards to the saw and make your cuts on those lines. Time to bevel the edges. You can use a router table for this, or do what I'm doing and use a bandsaw with the platform set at a 45-degree angle. Bevel each top edge except the outside natural edge of each outside board. You want your bevel to be no more than about half the thickness of the board. Next step is to sand the boards. First use 80 grit sandpaper followed by 120 grit. When sanding the edges of the boards, do not sand the edges that fit against another board. Only sand the bevels smooth. If you sand the edge that fits to another board, it won't fit right anymore. Before we attach the boards to the table, sand off any pencil marks on the supporting logs. To attach the boards, you'll first need to drill pilot holes and the countersink. I use 1/2-inch dowels as my plugs to bury the screws, so I'm going to first drill my countersink using a 7/16-inch drill bit. I'll then drill all the way through using a very small diameter bit appropriate for the screws I'm using. Once your holes have been drilled, put the boards back in place. Make sure all of your edges line up nicely. If they don't, use the sander to make adjustments. I'm now going to fasten the boards in place using 1 1/4-inch screws. When all the screws are in, fill each hole with wood glue and insert the dowel plugs in each hole. Use a hammer to make sure they're in all the way. Lastly, use 80 grit sandpaper to sand the plugs smooth, followed by 120 grit sandpaper to finish the area. Alright, so that's the puzzle cut shelf in all its glory. If you want to watch the video that how to make this log that goes underneath the shelf, just click on this link right here and it'll take you over to it. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the videos with your buddies on Facebook. It's a lot of fun. People like that, I think, because I do it all the time. Nobody complains. And also check out my website, www.sanjuancarpentry.com, and also logfurniturehow2.com. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. The music you heard in this video was performed by Colorado pianist Lacey Black. To find out more about Lacey, you can visit her website at lacyblack.net or find her on Facebook.